In this video, I'm going to show you how to create collaged edges on your stretch canvas so that you have nice tight corners on all sides. Now this is something that can be done before you collage or after you collage. It just depends on the look you're going for. In this video, I'm going to do it just like this prior to collaging because my intention is to do the collage right to the edges. So let's get started. Here I have a 6x6 inch stretched canvas. And the first thing that we're going to want to do is to do some measurements. The canvas that I'm using has a profile of 5/8 of an inch. And that's a measurement that you'll want to know. If it doesn't say it on the packaging, you can always measure it. So just measure the edge. And here I have the 5/8 inch. What I found is doing about a 1/2 inch here and on the bottom, so on the top and bottom, gives us enough coverage so that it'll stay nice. What I've done is I've created a 1/2 inch strip out of cardstock, and all I'm going to do is hold it to the edge and make some marks. I just want to know how far up I'm going to be going. And this part doesn't have to be absolutely exact. You'll want to be more precise if you're doing this after you put the collage on. But for this video, we're going to do it before. So just holding that to the edge and making my marks. Now I want to cut out 4 strips of paper. So I want a 1/2 inch, 5/8 inch, and a 1/2 inch. So that is 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 5/8. So 1/2, 1/2 is 1. So I want strips that are 1 5/8 inch in width. So I'm going to just move this to the side. I have my paper trimmer here, and if you don't have a paper trimmer, you can make your marks with a ruler and then draw lines. I've chosen 2 sheets of collage paper, so these are our half sheets. They have 2 designs on 1 page. And what I'm going to do, I'll move this out of the way, is cut the strips to 1 5/8. The reason I chose these is I want to do a different collage paper on each of the edges. So this is what I chose. But if you have collage paper that you want to do all the same on all edges, you can do that as well. So let me measure this. Okay, so here I have my 4 pieces of collage paper. So I've decided that I want a different one on each of the edges. And next, I'm going to I want my Mod Podge and brush. And then I also have a scrap piece of chipboard. This is just cut out from some packaging, but I find that I like to use this to glue. So what I'm going to do is apply the Mod Podge to the back. And I want enough on there so that it soaks into the fibers. This is a longer piece than I need, so I don't have to go all the way to the edge. I could have cut these before I started, but this will work well. And I want to have a little bit of an overhang, so about a 1/2 inch overhang. And I'm going to glue that down. And I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim this. Just eyeballing it about a 1/2 inch. Then I want to wrap it down all the way over and then press it. And I'm going to go to the first side, and then I want to apply Mod Podge here. I'm going to press this middle in. So press that down, pinch the edges, apply Mod Podge, and then I'm going to fold these down to get a nice tight edge. Then I want to do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to apply my Mod Podge, press that center down, just pinch the edges, apply more Mod Podge, and then I'm going to fold those down, just like that. So now we've got our first edge. I always like to have a wet and dry cloth with me because if I get my hands covered with Mod Podge, then it's going to start ruining the paper. So clean and dry hands. Now I do want to map this out how I want these. So I think that'll be good. So now I'm going to go to the next edge. This one we're doing a little bit differently. Where you want one side flush. Okay, so right to the edge. We don't want it that overhang like we did before. So we're going to go ahead and apply the Mod Podge. Again, getting it in there so that it soaks into the fibers. You'll get less wrinkling and bubbling of the paper if you really let that soak in there. So for this edge, as I said, we want to go flush to the side there. And this one we want an overhang of about a 1/2 inch. And then we'll do the same thing. We're going to fold it over to the side and then to the bottom. So pressing all of that down. I'm pressing any wrinkles out right now. So now we'll do the same thing where we apply the Mod Podge in there, push this down. We're going to pinch the corners, apply Mod Podge, and then push it down. And then here we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to clean my hands. And then I want to do this piece here. We're doing this one just like we did there. So apply the Mod Podge. I want to make sure that there's enough. It's soaking in because when I lift it, I want that paper to really curl so that I know that it's into the fibers. The same thing. We want this side flush. We're going to trim this edge so that there's about a 1/2 inch overhang. It's just approximate. And then I'm going to fold this over. And around the back. Oops, that slipped, so I'm going to go back and gently fold. And then press. Now we want to go to the corner, do the same thing. Apply the Mod Podge. Press that in. Pinch. Apply the Mod Podge. And then fold. So for this one, we want both of them flush, and I could cut it now. That's a decision. Sometimes I like to cut it later, but I can always trim it again. I just don't want to cut it too short. So I'm going to cut this to size. Apply the Mod Podge. Line it up. So I want them both flush, and then fold it over. Now this one, I didn't cut exact, so I do want to trim that. And there we are. We have the 4 sides collaged with nice tight borders on every corner. The last thing that I like to do, because it is the printed collage paper, is to apply the Mod Podge to seal the paper. So I'm just holding it and then applying Mod Podge. So I'll do the tops and the sides first. And then for the back, here I can hold it. I could also find something to set it down. So here's an empty deli container, and because this isn't collaged, I could set that there. I'm not going to be ruining anything. Although it did stick right there, so I just want to make sure, maybe turn it this way, and then I can let it dry like that. And we'll take a look at it when it's completely dry. And here it is, completely dried. So collaged edges with tight corners and ready to be collaged. And don't forget to save your template for other collages. Thank you so much for joining me today.